it was fascinating how many people simply didn't know to say, I'm sorry that happened to you. And so I would say to people, you know, before I would share this, I would say to them, the only response, for the first response, should be, I'm sorry this happened to you. But you would tell people and they would be like, oh my God! You know, and you would tell people and they would be like, nah. You would tell people and they would reply, oh, well, I got raped too. And I feel like that's unfortunate, and it's indicative of our disconnect from each other. We have such a hard time seeing other people. I really pride myself on being able to see people in their hurt. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at that. And I know that's because I'm an empath, but I'm really good at that. And I didn't feel seen in mine. And I feel like it's because I didn't know how to show it. But I also don't feel like I should have to. You know, I just feel like, why do I have to, like, I don't know. Why do I have to, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess what I'm asking for is for people to read my mind. And I guess that's not fair either. But I just would have liked to have been checked on. I would have liked there to have been a more concerted effort at gathering me. You know, it's like for Colored Girls. I was missing something promised. A lying on of hands, fingers near the forehead, strong, making me whole, the holiness of myself released. I found God in myself and I loved her. I found God in myself and I loved her. I found God in myself and I loved her. And this is for colored girls who've considered suicide, but are moving to the ends of their own rainbows. That's what I wanted. And the unfortunate truth is that we don't know how to do that all the time. We don't. You know, my uncle and all of his on pointness, he like texted me after and I asked him, I said, I haven't heard from you since this happened. And he said, oh, well, I knew you were in the good hands of a Navy man. Like, it's just the willingness of everybody to pass the buck to everybody. It's the text culture of like, well, I texted you, so that should be good enough. It's not good enough. We're having real human experiences. We've become so digitized in not only how we communicate with each other in this machine, but even in how we like live. You know, like it's digital. Are you okay? So it's not it. It's not it. And I went to Reiki. And when I went to Reiki, the healer said to me, you know, you've gone through something traumatic, but it's no longer in your mind, but it's in your body. And so you're going to have to sweat it out. I'm fortunate enough to have a sauna. So I spent the next 3 weeks getting up every single morning. She told me I needed to do it for 21 days. I spent the next 3 weeks. I got up every morning and I sat in that sauna for 20 minutes and I watched The Last Airbender. I did a rewatch of The Last Airbender. I sat in that sauna for 20 minutes and sweated out this trauma. And then I would get in the shower and take a cold shower. And then I would do a headstand for 3.5 minutes. This was my regimen every day for 3 weeks. The saving grace in all of this was that my mother had called my uncle's ex-wife, who was the only person in my family who truly saw the immensity of what took place and her responsibility as someone who loves me. The only one. And she was able to get the balance cleared. She got me on the phone with the commissioner, the police commissioner. She had the Board of Tourism, the head of the Board of Tourism contact me. She made me feel seen and loved and heard. She spoke the words that needed to be spoken while doing the actions that needed to be acted. And I will forever hold her in high praise. And she will be forever favored. for how she came through for me. And as you know, my ex and I, we ended up parting ways in July of last year. And there was always a certain contempt for that experience, that time, which makes complete sense. My mother has since, apologized for her lack thereof, her inability to mother me through such a terrifying experience. I was told that my aunt later said that this happened to me because of karma. When you see people walking around, you don't know what they're dealing with. And we hear that all the time. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what they're experiencing. You don't know what's going through their minds. And we're all in this like main character situation, this main character movie where we really be thinking like, that it's just me. And and we have to always check ourselves. I still managed to write and produce and star in a political comedy documentary last year, In Amanda We Trust. I still managed to pay my bills. I still managed to exist and to grow and to do my radio show and to expand. And I think sometimes people see that and they think that that is an indicator that you do not need their attention. But I think what a lot of people need to understand is that when you're someone like me, you are going to do what you're always going to be doing what you need to do for yourself because you're not expecting anyone to come save you. You have to save yourself. God forbid I find myself in a situation where I can't save myself because I don't know. I like to think I can name 3 people off the top of my head that I feel like, could get it done, but you just never know. You just never know. But to anyone who's listening, who did their best at showing up for me in this time, thank you. Thank you. For anyone listening who has been in this situation before, I see you. Me too. And for anyone who's listening that may consider themselves to be one of the people who may not have shown up correctly or just in an enough way, there is no time like the present. There's no time like the present to atone, to create space, to carve out the compassion that needed to be there. And I hope that you will extend yourself to do so because I'm promising you that person on the other side, they will be so appreciative to receive it. They will. Because this type of thing doesn't leave you. It doesn't leave you. I mean, you manage or you get through it, but it never leaves you. I like I said, I can still feel this foreign phalange inside of me. It never leaves you. And I'm an actor. My sense memory skills, my Stanislavski is popping through the roof. It never leaves you. But the best you can do is have the people around you also never leave you. And it doesn't mean that they have to keep talking about it. It doesn't mean that we have to keep bringing it up, but it does mean that you may need some handling with care. You may need some intentional friending. And you may need to be held. And I encourage you to ask for it. And I didn't. Not enough. Which is why I feel like I'm not allowed to have any type of resentment. But I don't want you to feel what I feel. So I encourage you to ask for what you need because you deserve it.